What are you doing? Sleepy Maggie. Alright, so now we're going to remove the rear stock fender and the rear stock fender liner. We're not going to be reusing this liner, so if we break something, one of the clips or the fender liner itself, I really don't care. But I think it'll be a little bit easier if I can try to pop some of these out beforehand. Alright, so now that we've got the rear fender flare, the stock rear fender flares taken off, as well as the fender liner, now there are holes that we need to drill out to 17/32. They're only specific ones because those are the ones that we're going to have to put the nut-serts into. So completely different than the front fenders. The front fenders were all completely bolt-on, whereas the rear fenders we do have to put nut-serts in. I do have a nut-sert tool that I'm going to be able to use for this, as opposed to the one that came with the kit. Should be a little bit easier, but first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and I'm going to mark these holes that need to be drilled out to 17/32. So we should have 6 of those, so it needs to be this one, and then this one, and then this one. Then we should skip 2. Actually skip 3, skip that, do this one, do the very next one, skip 1, do this one, and then skip that one down there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 holes that we have to drill out to 17/32. And then after we do that, we'll be able to get the fender put up onto the body once we get those nut-serts put in. And then there will be one more hole that we have to drill out to add another nut-sert into. But there should only be one hole that has to be drilled on this back portion, whereas on the front you saw we had to drill 7, I believe 7 holes it was. 7 or 8. Either way, it was a lot more drilling on the front than there is on the back. However, the back has the nut-serts that have to be put in, as opposed to just being able to bolt everything on. Now, just like on the front holes, we're going to go through with some touch-up paint here. We just want to make sure we clean up this metal, get it nice and covered. The Nut-sert's going to be going over it. We just don't want any bare metal, because I know there will be water getting in here, and we don't want to risk these things rusting out. And like I said before, I'm using silver because that's what we have. You can use whatever touch-up paint you have. If you want to use the body color stuff, that's fine. But I don't anticipate this being seen because the fender is going to be right over it, as well as the Nut-sert.
The other thing to make sure that you do is before you begin to do the Nut-sert, go through and partially put one of the Nut-serts in, because if it doesn't go all the way in, you're going to have to drill through it, and if you've already painted it, then you're going to have to retouch up that paint. So it's suggested that you take the Nut-sert, just put it in the hole, make sure that it fits, don't put it all the way in, adjust by drilling any holes that you need to. That way you're not having to redo something that you've already done the first time around.
Alright, so now we're going to do the Nut-serts. I've got a Nut-sert tool here. It's got the 5/16 18 end on it. All you're going to do, you're going to want to open it up. You can see as you open and close how this end goes in and out. So if you open it up, it comes out all the way. You just want to thread the Nut-sert all the way onto the tool. And once you have it threaded onto the tool, you're going to go into the hole. Once you are into the hole, just apply pressure and squeeze all the way down. Then you just unthread the tool from it. And now you've got a Nut-sert. Now that allows you to put a bolt into the body, or you couldn't do it before. So we're going to go through, put all 6 of these in. Alright, we're back again. Working on the rear fenders. We have all of the nut-serts in. If you remember from the earlier time we were working on this, you can always tell it's not the same day. It's dark. I'm wearing different clothes, if you see. But definitely not the same clothes I was wearing in any other videos that I've made on totally different days that were not today. So it can be hard to see. It is dark out here. I'm going to try our best to show you exactly what we're doing here, but we're in a time crunch. We got to get this done for Big Bend. It's got to happen. I'm tired of driving the Jeep around with one fender on the back and one fender off. So we're going to make this happen, dark or not. What we need to do, we've got a couple of brackets. We've got a bracket here. This bracket goes down in the darkness over here, in the dark part where you can't see anything. You don't go to the dark world. And we've got this much bigger bracket right here. This bracket goes back in here, up inside there. So what we need to do is we need to put the fender on so we can mark the holes that we need to drill in the front, and then also the holes that we need to drill to get into these two holes right here. And then we've got two holes to drill here into the back, and then we have two holes to drill here, which will be going into the side, just on the inside there. So what ends up happening is the two bolts on the back here, we have to pull the tail light off to be able to get in and put the nuts on the back side of here. And then for these two holes here, we have to have a right angle bit to be able to drill the holes at all, and then access the bolts on the inside to put the nut on. So basically these braces just help hold the fender in place, aside from just using the 7 nut-serts that we have, which aren't necessarily going to be the strongest attachment point in the world, especially for these kind of heavy steel fenders. Sorry for the noise. We've got airports nearby, military stuff. We get this all the time. We're used to it. You'll hear it in quite a few videos. So. Come around here and look. You can see there's some depth to that. There are 2 panels basically that we have to drill through. So we want to make sure that we're as close to perpendicular with that as we can get. That way we ensure that those bolts are going to be going in straight and ending up where they need to end up. Because this bracket needs to be able to hold where it's supposed to hold. And I don't want these holes to not work for this.
About to be drill, baby, drill.
Alright, so here we are drilling the holes into the inside panel of the fender. Just after this, we had video putting the bracket in. However, we lost that video. I guess the battery died. We don't have that video. So basically what I'm doing here is I'm drilling the holes that I had shown you guys earlier on the back side. Now you can see right here I'm marking for the inside panel to be able to drill those holes. Had a little bit of trouble. You've got to use the 90-degree bit adapter here for the drill. Kind of hard to be able to get in there. The bit was already worn out, so I had to fight with that a little bit. I still need to go in and get those holes cleaned up to be able to get those bolts put in. It was dark, it was late, and we just ran out of time. It's still in there, it's still good, it's solid. So that's going to finish up this video here. Remember to click like, subscribe, share, and hit the notification bell.